Hey, episode 2 of week 3. We're back. We have just entered into the small frontier village of Phandalin, and we've seen ruffians dealt with. We've seen a horribly wounded warrior, unsure of himself, moving off into the distance. But more importantly, we've seen the party bring the goods to Barthen's Sundries, and have found out something that Squeak would probably prefer if not known, or at least maybe avoided altogether. So, how's Squeak dealing with the news that the Red Brands are in town?
You know, at first he's scared, but there's also, after that immediate fear, there is a burning kind of rage that sort of begins to bubble up underneath that as he thinks about the betrayal that set him up. That this betrayal has caused him to have to leave and essentially almost sever all ties with his aunt, who was his only living relative, which he did for her, which he's doing for her safety. He didn't feel like he could stay. And, and the more he mulls over this and he flashes back to that attempt, he's scared, but he's angry at the same time. And so I think as this is happening, Squeak, who is sort of receded and nobody really sees him anymore, but you hear his voice almost, and he asks, just says to the boys, where are the Red Brands headquartered?
They look at each other, and they're looking at you, and at first they look at you as kind of like almost an equal because of your height, right? You guys are probably about the same height, but I don't know, I guess maybe for the first time. Yeah. For the first time, though, they notice that you've got like all these daggers, like
dagger.
Right, yeah, and that change in demeanor in you, they pick up on, and Ander, he looks at Thistle, and Thistle looks at Ander, and they both kind of come to an agreement. And Thistle speaks up first. Well, there's a place called the Sleeping Giant. It's a beer house. It's a place where they make beer and stuff, and some of the ale that goes over to the tavern. But there's a few of them that they like to stay up their ways.
And as he says that, Squeak, without nobody really saw him pull it out, but Squeak just flips a gold piece at the boy, and he says, "And who's their leader?"
Who's their? I don't know. There's a lot of rumors going around town that some fella, like a skinny fella, he's I think his name's Glassstaff.
And at that, you just see all of the muscles in Squeak's body just tense.
You okay, man?
He's almost shaking with rage. He says, "That is the wizard who tried to assassinate me."
Oh,
Am I even close enough to pick up on this?
Up to you. It depends. I mean, where are all of you at? I mean, are you still?
We're sort of still.
I know Ursula's there for sure.
Yeah,
Crut's there.
Yeah.
Ursula and Crut are there for sure.
I'm not going to be leaving stuff until we get that sorted. So yeah, I'm probably still there.
Yeah, and Tristan, you're still there too. Yeah.
Week had someone attempt to assassinate him. That's arrow kind of business.
Crazy.
That's arrow business. I like that. So Thistle and Ander, they take a step back, as one person, they both take a step back away from Squeak, and Thistle kind of leans over to Ander and whispers something, and then Ander leans over, and you hear like a lot of S's, and then Thistle kind of like, oh, you mean they tried to kill you?
Squeak doesn't say anything. He's so absorbed in what's going on. He has tuned them out.
So they kind of like they go and busy themselves. They're like, well, Mr. Barthen will be glad to help you. And like finally the one this like looks in his hand, and he like realizes that he's got this gold coin in his hand, and he gives an elbow to Ander. He says, "Come on," like that. So like they kind of like make their way around the party and head over to the wagon to busy themselves with like moving crates and stuff. And they're like doing it very carefully and everything. You know, maybe out of fear, maybe because there was a gold coin that was paid just now. Who knows what kind of tips might be awaiting them. So yeah, they kind of busy themselves right now.
All right.
Let's get rid of our cargoes.
I think.
Figure out, what's going on with these red brands?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, he's talking. I think, as Squeak is seeing red, so to speak. Like he literally just hears the blood rushing in his ears at this moment, and outwardly, not too stealthily, Squeak pulls. You see Squeak take out 2 of his daggers, and as he takes out these 2 daggers, he just starts walking very purposely in the direction where Sildar went.
Oh boy.
I'm going to. Crud will hesitantly look back at the provision shop and all the spices on the wall, but ultimately will go and follow Squeak towards whatever goal he's pursuing, if only to make sure he doesn't get himself killed.
Oh yeah, Ursula's coming too. Protecting the party means, protecting them from themselves sometimes.
And since we have both Ursula and Crud watching Squeak, I'll make sure that our provisions get delivered. But I would also like to follow, but we have provisions right there too. So
Right.
All right.
How about you, Justin? What are you doing?
If worse comes to worse, both of us can either of us can pick up Squeak and throw him over our shoulder. So
I don't know. He might get stabby. I'm a little worried about our normally cheerful.
I've got healing spells.
That's true.
Sildar is down at the inn, right?
Right, the Stone Hill.
Marker's up here at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's right. There he is. So he's heading over here.
Yeah.
Okay. So how about you, Tristan? Where are you heading?
I didn't catch any of that. I was just kind of like checking out the surrounding area since I was not directly related to delivering the goods.
Oh, okay. That's a good point. So yeah, then you probably just see, like, when they went into the area where the stable is located, everybody had this kind of a demeanor that you've gotten used to over the last few hours of, this is how this person acts and this is how this person acts. But now all of a sudden you see the halfling Squeak. He's coming out from that area and heading south along that little main street after where Sildar went. And he looks like he's gunning for bear. I mean, he's really upset. And you see the half-orc Crud and Ursula coming in behind him. So I don't know if you want to go after them or if you want to stick around and maybe ask Falconian what's going on, or is there something that you want to do on your own accord?
I'll kind of like just follow from a distance, not like be in on what's going on directly.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's see here. So you guys are heading down towards the Stone Hill Inn, and we kind of see you making your way down that direction, but we stick with Falconian for the moment, and so you're seen to the provisions. So I'm assuming you're going to go ahead and head on into the provisions place, to Barthen's. So kind of as we were describing at the beginning, we kind of wound it back a little bit just to kind of get that scene in place. You head on into the shop, and again, you're welcomed by that smell, the kind of like a comforting feel to the place. And Barthen is there, 50 years old or so, a friendly face, and he nods greeting to you as you arrive. Hello there, sir. May I help you?
Yes, sir. My party was hired to bring supplies to your shop. We just arrived from Neverwinter.
Oh, great, wonderful. So you whose bill of transit are you under? And he pulls out this ledger that's bound in like hardened leather, and it's got like all these little scratches and marks from years of use. And he opens it up, and you actually see a few seals from Neverwinter and maybe a couple other towns that you might not know. But he finally gets to a set of pages that deals with, you see like kind of written on the top of the ledger, it's written out Phandalin in kind of like a flowery ink. And he draws over an inkwell and a dust, what do you call it, a sandbox. And he opens it up to the last page, and he starts scanning through names. And he says, so, who are you contracted with?
It'll be under either Gundren Rockseeker or Sildar Hallwinter.
Oh, Gundren, wonderful. How is the old fellow? He pulls out the page, or he opens to the page where...
he could be better right this moment, but we have the goods here.
Oh, is he sick? He could go over to Timor, or maybe Sister Gorell, as if she might be able to help. I've got some tinctures here that might help. He eats and drinks far too much. I've told him this before many times. And if he would only slow down and enjoy the meal, for crying out loud, he might not get such a worrisome tummy. Yeah, him and his brothers are so much alike in that affair. Dwarves. I mean, no offense, right? But dwarves. Is his stomach ailing? Like I said, I don't mind. You could just take it to him. I won't charge you anything.
We think he was captured. We think he was captured by bandits, goblins, and bugbears along the road. We tracked a bunch of them down to rescue Sildar. He and Sildar were both taken, but we didn't see him in the same place.
What? Captured, you say? Oh, no.
Aye.
I was worried when I hadn't heard from him in a while. Where was he taken? Was it along the trail?
Yes, along the road from Neverwinter.
There's been tales of goblins and worse, and he's like kind of looking out towards the windows, and
worse.
His eyes kind of darken a little bit. But goblins, you say? Is that what's taken him? Was there a body? Did you find a body? Is he dead? Do you know?
We did not find his body. Sildar said that he was taken to another location after they were interrogated some. Sildar's fine and mending.
Sildar's here, you say? Is he
Yes.
out in the stable?
He went down to the inn to find us a room.
Yes, of course. This is very troubling indeed. I had such high hopes for him and his brothers. They've such amiable fellows. I mean, Gundren himself, such a history buff. We had so many long nights just talking about the local mines and the history and things he'd found. I told him he was a fool to think that he would find things related to Fidelva's pact, but well, that's dwarves. This is really disheartening. I'll have my did my boys see to the cart? Are they already there? Ender, Thistle, where are you?
Yes, they met us outside.
Good.
Getting on that. We actually recovered some crates with the lion shield on them, so have to head up there and see them next.
One of the carts was ransacked. That's right. They hadn't arrived in a 10-day. Oh, very good then. That will most indubitably raise the spirits of that one. The thing is that I haven't heard from Gundren's brothers either. Nundro and Tharden, I haven't seen them in a 10-day either, and I was expecting them any day. Just come back and resupply and head back out. I thought maybe they'd just... Well, they are loyal, but, if you find somebody that's cheaper and they're closer, I wouldn't be offended if they ended up going with another supplier for goods, but I've really been expecting...
Where are they based out of?
Oh, here. They've been here. They stay at the Stonehill from time to time, but they've been camping out near some of the mines that they've been exploring.
You know what direction?
He starts flipping. He pushes the book aside, but then he stops himself. It's almost kind of like behavioral. he pulls the book back, takes the inkwell out, and he starts writing in goods delivered, blah blah blah, and he signs it, and then he throws some sand on it, and then moves it aside, takes a breath, and then goes under the counter and pulls out a map, and so he takes a look at the map, and he starts kind of circling a couple of places where some of the mining has been taking place. And he says that, they've been looking at a place that's up to the northeast here, along this rim of mountains. And he kind of draws a circle, like a half circle, where they've been kind of plumbing the depths of some of the old mines. They've run into a couple of places where there were cave-ins, but they've very clever, these brothers. They don't call them rock seekers for nothing. They found a lot of rocks, but they are bullheaded. I hope nothing has happened to his brothers. But there's a chance that Gundren might be alive, is you're saying, though. There's a chance, yes?
That is our belief. We're going to go look for him once we resolve our...
You must find him. You must find him. He's a good man. He's good to have in Phandalin, that's for sure.
He's a good employer.
Yes. We've had him and his brothers here. They probably wouldn't put up with these red bands, that's for sure. But well, go to Stonehill. I'm sure the Silder will find somebody to talk to there. Then perhaps you could talk with the barkeep. They've found some information more about the roads and where people have been running into trouble. I know that there's been issues to the north along the trail, or off the trail, I should say. There have been some issues there. They always say that these goblins and whatnots have been coming from the north side of the trail. So I don't know if that will help, but maybe. Best of luck to you. And he actually pulls out a couple of coins, and he checks inside the pouch, that sort of thing. I know that a payment is payment, and Gundren's brothers had forwarded us the money to handle any deliveries, that sort of thing. And he said sometimes there'd be others he would hire, and he starts taking the pouches of gold coins out, and he starts counting them up, and then pushes them over to you. And it's 10 gold pieces each. I think he has in the contract that there is the potential of deliveries. He shows you where it's written that the potential of deliveries was for 4 people. So I don't know if he would. And he didn't know anything about Tristan at the time. So he has 40 gold pieces that are in 10 gold piece pouches that he pushes over. I just realized something. Where's the rest of your party? Oh, by the gods, did they fall as well?
No. I think they had business towards the end, so they left me to resolve this, and then we're actually need to go catch up with them. So
good.
Ursula just went blank.
What's that?
Alyssa disappeared.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
Yeah, she's frozen on mine.
Alright, I'll send a quick message. Somebody want to hit up the messenger, Facebook Messenger, and just send a message to see if she's doing okay. Just have her hit that reconnect button.
I got it.
On the wheel cog. So he he's actually kind of gratified. He opens up a part of the ledger there, and it has a note there that messenger by Raven indicating for party members. Well, good. I'm glad that at least your party is safe, and if you're willing to go and continue to search for Gundren, I think I can afford 5 gold pieces each to add some kind of credit if you need supplies, that sort of thing. I want my friend back. I don't want any harm to come to him. And like I said, him and his brothers are good for this town. We need them. We need hardy folk like them. So if you would do me that favor, and he like opens up the pouches and he puts 5 gold each into the pouches, so you've got 15 each in there. Take that and whatever supplies, even if you don't buy it at my shop, just whatever you need. Just tell them.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, and if anybody gives you trouble, just tell them Old Barthen says that you're good folk. It may carry some weight in some areas of town, not all of them, but it's
appreciated.
Yeah, very well.
Bid you farewell.
Good. And he he kind of like, as you're kind of heading towards the door, he like yells out, Tristan, or sorry, Thistle, Ander, hurry up now, boys. And you hear it from the distance. You hear the kids kind of yell back, okay. So, do you want to leave the cart here with the supplies for Lion Shield, the Lion Shield cluster, or do you want to take the cart with you, or do you I know you're kind of concerned about what Squeak might be getting up to.
I think I trust the boys at this point, so I'm gonna walk down and see what everybody else is doing. I can come back for the Lion Shield stuff.
Okay, all right. So we'll so you kind of exit out through the door, and as the camera kind of follows you out, the angle switches, and all of a sudden we're in a different place, and we hear kind of like people talking, maybe like the sound of somebody playing a lute or something in the background, and the doors open to the Stonehill Tavern and Stonehill Inn / Tavern, and in walks Silder. A couple folks seem to recognize him, and they lift their tankards to him, and he heads in. But as the doors kind of like swing back and forth, they're like those old Batwing doors, and we see in the distance, kind of like opening and closing. We see Squeak coming up because he wasn't too far behind Silder, and Silder's wounded, and Squeak is determined. So Squeak, you're following along. You have Crud and Ursula hot on your heels. All three of you getting quite the variations of looks from some of the town folk. Especially, you see like a halfling. Do you still have those daggers in your hands, or are you?
Yeah, no. At first, he's still he's going. I mean, he's they're not. He's not walking out. They're just sort of, But he's gripping them.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah. So yeah, he sees. I don't know if he sees Sildar going, but he knows he's going into the inn, and so he walks straight in. The doors, stops and looks around for Sildar.
Yeah, you spot him pretty quickly. He's actually chatting with one of the waitresses that are there, and she's showing him to a table to sit down.
So Squeak walks straight over to him, and as he's sitting there, Squeak on his way in, realizing he's in a public place, and sort of thinks better of himself and sort of slides the daggers in, but he walks over and just slams his hand down onto the table in front of Sildar and says, "Where's the sloppy giant?"
Do you mean the sleeping giant?
Whatever. Where is it?
Okay, I'll stay in character. That's good.
Yeah.
Do you mean the sleeping giant?
Sleepy sloppy. I don't care. Where is it?
He's kind of like looking around a little bit. Have a seat. Please sit down.
Oh.
Bro, am I breaking up?
Oh.
Reconnecting?
Oh no.
Oh, just back.
I'm back.
Oh, Alyssa's not yet.
Alyssa's not yet. Alyssa, reset.
Reset pretty quickly last time.
Hit the reconnect button.
One of these days, roll 20.
Yeah.
One of these days, we're going to go through an entire evening. That's technology, folks. That's what we went into. See the Mad Cleric for details. He actually has a couple of good articles on that. But yeah. So I mean, as long as you can hear me, we'll see if Alyssa jumps back in. Crud, if maybe you can send a quick message to her just to make sure she's trying to hit that reconnect button.
Yup.
Can any of the others see her, or is it just everybody can't?
I can't.
Okay.
She's gone.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So he's motioning you to have a seat. Now, calm down. Why do you wish to go over to the sleeping giant?
What do you know about the red brands?
So, like, how loud are you saying that? Are you kind of... You said you kind of feel like you're situationally aware, that sort of thing.
Yeah, he's starting to calm down. I kind of feel like he's kind of talking through his teeth right now. And what do you know?
Yeah, Crud, here's a better way to go about this.
So, like, yeah, so the Crud kind of shows up behind you.
Yeah.
Along with Alyssa. Or, I'm sorry, Ursula.
Hey, she's back.
Yes.
Hey.
I'm sorry. I think my connection is just going to be a little spotty tonight.
We've been
That's okay.
losing
As
our
long
patience
as we
with
get
roll
through most
20.
of the time.
Yeah.
We just blame Roll20. That's fine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
how do you react there, Squeak? You have Crud behind you.
And Ursula.
Yeah.
I think Squeak's aware of him, but he's not. He's on point, and he just earpiece. What do you know about the red brands? And this time he lowers his voice just a little bit again, leaning in. What do you know?
There's more than 3 of those.
So he wants the information now.
Crud doesn't have the self-confidence to assert himself a second time. So he's just gonna
All right.
pipe down.
It's my turn.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a very heavy hand on Squeak's shoulder. And I'm going to say, listen. You're not going to get anywhere. Find these... whoever the hell you got yourself into a mess with. If you start making a noise all over town.
Squeak just kind of puts his head
You're
down.
You're going to need to take this down 3 notches, 4.
Right, you're the sneaky guy. You gotta do it sneaky, right?
I don't have any problem sneaking, but I need to know where they are.
I mean, we're running through town with knives. It's not sneaky.
Yeah, not... like, even I know that's not great optics, so...
I don't know what optics.
And I think at that, it's Squeak realizing that he has let his emotions get the better of his stealthiness.
Yeah.
Kind of gets a little embarrassed and realizes,
A little hot under the collar.
Yeah.
fine, guys, but
Hey, I don't mean to put you down, but I just don't want you to die, get killed by these guys. You know?
Yeah. We'd be short a party member.
so yeah, but and I think he turns back though and just says, Sildar, be honest. Do you know anything about the red brands in this town?
So I've only been here maybe twice, 3 times. The 3rd time was really just passing through. It was the first time we actually ever came here. I was the first time that the Gundren and his brothers had decided to come here and do some digging. And they hadn't had much trouble in the beginning with bandits or whatnot. When you go digging in hills, you start unsettling the ants, and so things just kind of attract to that. get a small town like this, they don't have a regular watch. Neverwinter's not going to send anything down here until they find out if it's really worth it. So others set up shop. I'm thinking it's probably these red brands. I've heard a little bit about them. Cause trouble for some of the local shop owners. They want their cut.
Yeah, apparently there's a guy named, like, Glassstaff, I think Kid said. Apparently, yeah, I don't know. Just,
Well, that's something to remember then. Is he supposed to be the boss of these people?
Something like that.
He is definitely the leader.
Apparently he's got... I don't know. Squeak's got beef with him, so he can't be a good guy.
Beef with him? He tried to kill me, crud.
I was just trying to be topical with my cooking references.
For no reason.
Trying to be friendly, man. Just keeping it real.
Oh, just making small talk about the guy who tried to murder you. No big.
At this point, I'd have probably caught up to the group, maybe.
Yeah, I think. Well, so let me do something here real quick. I want to send something over. Okay. Leah, can I have... Or I'm sorry, Tristan, can I have you roll an investigation check for me? Alright, cool. That will work. Alright, so I'm going to send you something there.
Oh, goody.
There you go.
Secret messages.
Hopefully that.
Except
no,
everybody can see that?
Oh, everybody can see it? That's
No,
not
only
good.
Whisper!
I thought I whispered. Did I not whisper?
I'm not looking.
Whispered on the first half. The second half, no.
Ah, piece of junk.
Yeah. It makes you feeling better. Contextually, I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what
good.
that means.
All right,
but...
well, Tristan, put the two messages together, and that'll...
Oh, yeah, that really doesn't mean anything.
There you go. So you were kind of... As you were kind of making your way through the town following the rest of the group, you pick up on a conversation with there's an old farmer, somebody calls him North, that he's in conversation with another person who looks like maybe he works at the smithy, but maybe he's on break. And you hear a conversation talking about this, and he kind of puts a thumb over his shoulder towards the Shrine of Luck in this area here. Actually, you're kind of right next to it there. So Sildar kind of... So if there's glass stuff slided in for you, then maybe you better keep a low profile, huh? Until we know more. There's people here that you can probably ask about, find out a little bit more about these bandits, as it were, but like I said, they were bound to happen. It's a small town, like I said, no watch. There's no military presence. And truth be told, I was hoping to get something set up, but the person that I was supposed to meet hasn't checked in, and he looks over at the waitress who's at the bar right now collecting a drink. He hasn't been seen here in a while. I was hoping he would be here, maybe have more information about where Gundren might have been taken. And if my contact isn't here, then we may have to depend on what we can pick up from the rest of the town folk.
Barthen did say that he's heard of some troubles up towards the north. Maybe also said Gundren's brothers have been a little bit slow getting back to town the last couple of days. I don't know if you know anything about where they're normally stationed, or if that might be connected, but he seemed to think that there might have been something wrong with them.
That's not good news. So for both of them, he hasn't heard from either.
Also, I'm going to go ahead and pass out all the pouches.
Oh, nice.
Hey, what's this for?
The remaining of our commission for delivery of goods, with a bonus
Oh,
to cover any costs we might incur to go find Gundren.
right, right.
Uh,
Oh, thank you.
old
One
Barthen, he
job done
let
and
you.
another one started.
Old
I
Barthen
mean-
let you out of there without having everybody sign. He must be not feeling himself.
I don't know what that means.
Why don't you give me a stealth roll real quick? Just for the fun.
Away from the screen, and the moment I stopped hearing white noise, I'm like, "Oh, Jeff, disconnect again."
Oh, no, it's me. Sorry. I was trying to whisper thing, and hopefully it wasn't going to mess up everything. So
It worked. You're good.
Oh gosh!
everybody
Oh.
dies. Everybody face plants onto the table with a dagger in their spine. Roll new tunes.
Total party kill.
Total
No
party kill.
campaign.
Except for Tristan, who's smart enough not to be at the table with a halfling
She's-
thief.
Yeah, she's seen planting the final dagger in the last person's back.
Exactly. Yeah. You thought it was Squeak, but it wasn't. Dun dun dun.
Dun.
So yeah, so what are you looking for when you head over to the bar there, Squeak? So like you kind of like you guys are like talking, and maybe when somebody kind of looks over and sees, hey, wait a minute, where'd Squeak go?
Now I'm a little confused. So what was the bar? We were in Stone Hill Inn, and we need to find the Sleeping Giant, right?
Right.
Okay, I got confused thinking that the Sleeping Giant was the name of the inn.
Oh no, too many S's. Yeah, the Stonehill Inn
Intellect.
is kind of like a tavern inn type thing, and the Sleeping Giant is more of like a
brewery?
distillery, brewery type thing. Yeah,
Everything makes a lot more sense now.
cool, love it. All right, so
Always good when things make sense.
Did you see my note, Jeff?
I did. So, all right. So you kind of you walk up to the bar, and maybe. So how do you kind of navigate the height thing? Do you just kind of climb onto one of the stools or something and sit and talk, or do you want to just ask the waitress? What do you want to do?
I think he's looking for whoever looks like they're free and looks like they work here. So if the waitress is available, he'd probably head over there, and if not, if he thinks it's the barkeep, he's just looking for somebody who's a local who works there.
Okay, that works.
And if it's at the bar, maybe he kind of taps up on the peeks up on the over the.
Well, you know what? To be honest, because this is kind of a mining town, there most likely is going to be a large dwarf presence here. Which all of a sudden you look around in the tavern, and there actually are quite a few dwarves. There may be a halfling and a gnome or two. So the bar itself has places in between the stools where you can actually stand on top of They actually have like wood. It's not crates. It's actually just spots built into the bar where you can step on it. And,
steps.
Yeah. So you can get yourself up at eye level.
Steps. Just steps right up there and.
Okay. So the barkeep is there. There's another there's a barmaid that's there as well who nice. So there's a barmaid that's there, steps over to the bar and says, "What can I get you, love?"
Take just a glass of water, please.
Water? All right, sure. So he wants the water. Turns around and there's like a little like prime pump type thing, and like she uses that to like fill up a mug of water and passes it over to you. On the house, I guess. She like kind of like looking at you like. She like looks back over her shoulder and sees there's like different varying casks of ale, and there's a couple of whiskey jars and stuff, and looks back at you. Sure, you just kind of preparing yourself, I guess, eh?
It's been a long day, and he takes a drink, and before I order, I was wondering, could you point me in the direction? I'm new to town. It's been long on the road, and that's why I need just a glass of water. Where might be the Sleeping Giant?
Where?
Sleeping Giant. I hear it's in the area. I just stopped in. I was on my way. Have some business.
Okay. Well, sure you don't want some drinks here? And she kind of like looks over her shoulder.
Squeak sort of pulls out another gold coin and just slides it slowly across the bar and says, "Water's fine."
Right. And so she like looks at you and give me a. Let's see. What are you attempting to do? Are you persuading? Do you feel like you're?
I think he's just trying to be relatively unassuming.
Okay.
He's just trying to. He's asking her for a location. He's not trying to be intimidating or sneaky. He's sort of. I don't know if it's persuasion as much as he's just trying to be conversational. And I guess I would say when he pulls out the gold coin, though, now he's moving into persuasion, like just kind of, which just stop asking questions and do you know or don't you know? So you want a persuasion roll maybe, or
yeah, let's do that.
let's see what happens.
Nice. Okay. So so she looks at you and she nods and says, "Okay, now it's down the road a bit. It's towards the east. It's not too far. Maybe about 3 or 4 houses down. It's a run-down place. It used to be an old brewery. They don't brew much there, but they still use it as a looks down at the mug and looks back at you. Use it as a watering hole. There's a female dwarf there, named Agrista. Nasty cuss. But if that's where you're looking to go. She kind of like watches you for a bit and then kind of spies the daggers and stuff. Looks down at the gold coins. Looks back at you. She's trying to like suss you out a bit, right? She looks over your shoulder at the table where I guess Cruden and Ursula are still there, and Falconian's just coming in and joining. Cecilda are there.
I'll wave nervously.
And she waves back. All you looking for this place?
And at this point, she hasn't seen, but Squeak now has that gold coin back in his hand, and he's just kind of flicking it between his finger, and he says, "I'm looking for that place." Sets the gold coin back on the counter.
Okay. So this is the part where I want you to roll an insight check, and I'm kind of doing kind of like a game master track comparison here. So I want you to roll an insight check, and I'm going to roll a counter to that insight check. Oh my gosh. Double crits. Somebody
Wow.
mark this
Double
down on this
crit.
day of December the 20th. Let's see if she crits. Let's see. Where's my plus sign? I'm used to typing on a phone. It's nowhere near where it normally is. All right. Let's see. She doesn't crit.
Good roll.
But it's a decent roll. So you kind of notice that she's not resisting telling you about the place because she's hiding it for like her own purposes. She's not wanting to tell you about the place because she doesn't think she's worried about you being a recruit for this place for the
That's what I was starting to get that atmosphere too.
Yeah, she actually So she actually looks at the coin kind of flicking through your fingers. She looks down at the coin that's still on the bar. Because I'm thinking you left that one there, right?
Well, I picked it up and then I put it back down, like
Oh,
I was
okay,
trying
okay,
to emphasize it.
Is
you
there
know.
2 gold coins or 1?
No, it's just one.
Just the one. Okay. So
It's back on the bar.
she places a finger on the coin and then slides it back towards you. She says, "I'll give you 2 bits of information for free, okay? Number 1, you can go there. That's fine. I don't think you're their type, which is good. Although, you know him well enough to have a beef with him, it seems."
That I do.
Oh, yeah. She gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get a lay of the land before you go charging in. And she looks over your shoulders and looks back at you and says, "I don't doubt you and them pig stickers you got there, but don't go alone."
Noted. And then
Take
does she
her
tell me
on
where
her
it is?
advice.
She tells you 2 blocks. There's two small houses and a building that's in between us and them to the east. Just follow the road. You'll hear the sounds of music, that sort of thing. Nothing like
All
Louis
right.
over here. He must better at tickling the lute strings than that sloppy head they have over there. But yeah, to the east. Smell the swill. You'll know that's them.
Squeak says, "Thank you kindly." Slides the gold piece back across the bar and says, "A round of the best drinks I can get for this, for me and my friends." And he turns around and walks back to the group and sits down, which I'm not sure they actually knew I was gone, did they? I rolled a pretty good stealth check.
I don't know. I mean, we may see you coming back, but we definitely didn't see you leave.
So
It
Yeah.
took a couple minutes.
I have this Squeak all of a sudden comes back and just kind of plops back down on the chair and kind of startles everyone who didn't even realize he was gone. And he just sits for a moment and kind of takes a deep breath and looks around and says, "Crud, Ursula, I appreciate all you've done for me, but
What did you do this time?
nothing yet."
Now I think Falconian, you're there too now, right?
And Falconian. So he sort of looks around all of them and says, "I appreciate all that you guys have done for me, but I have something I have to go take care of. Glassstaff is here, and I have to confront him."
So where are we going?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean,
Whoa. Okay. 1 step back. You said this guy tried to kill you, right?
Yes,
Why?
I don't know.
Are you sure you don't know?
The best that I could figure out from the one friend, can't really, thieves guilds, nobody's really friends with anyone, but person who's closest to a friend, as far as I could get out of them before I had to run, was that somebody set me up. They weren't even sure who, but there were rumors that somebody lied and said I had done something and stolen something which I hadn't taken, and Glassstaff believed him enough to try to kill me without ever talking to me. Just came after me while I was at my aunt's house.
well, I mean,
We
we can
we
straighten
barely
it all
got
out
away.
then. Let them know that you didn't do whatever it is that you didn't do. He's a wizard. He's got to be a smart guy. You got to be able to reason with him.
Oh, I'll reason with him, all right.
I mean, you know,
Eh.
we should at least try talking to him before we.
He's a criminal. caving in some part of his can't be too bad, can it?
And Squeak just kind of looks at Crud and just shakes his head and says,
Oh, Crud.
I mean, you gotta try. It's just a good thing to do.
Crud. He came at me. First thing I saw was a fireball.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, I'm saying we could be the better person, people.
Squeak.
Animals like that can't be reasoned with.
I don't know.
Squeak
well, whoa, how now? What
Squeak
is you?
Yeah, Squeak smiles just a little bit. It's just a hint. Says, Crud, I won't rule anything out yet. How's that?
That's the thing is best. Yeah, I can. Yeah.
But I know you guys. I know you guys got stuff to do. You got to deal with the lion shield shipment and Gundren. So I can't. I know you guys can do that, and it's going to be hard to say goodbye. But I think I have to.
Solder, actually, let me stop you there. You've got a contract that you gotta fulfill now. If you're taking that gold, your first priority ought to be to Gundren, to see him safe. And I'll add to that. I've got gold here that I could use, that I can help pay you. Maybe along the way you can help me find my missing comrade as well.
Maybe some of the stuff we could use, yeah, for the wizard after, you know? I mean, worst comes to worst, he dies before you get to him, and then, the problem's solved. Either way, I think.
What do you really know about this class stuff, anyway?
Oh, maybe? A great deal.
He nods towards Squeak.
He's the leader of the Red Brands. He is just a evil, filthy man. He is just do anything to get an extra penny, to get ahead, even kill one of his own crew.
Oh, yeah. And
I'm not going to rush in.
He's been after you for a long time.
Long time.
Okay. I'll say this. I don't think he knew that you were going to be here. Right? Because he was here before you even got here.
It's true.
Yeah.
But word will get around.
Looks like the Red Brands have a good operation in here. So don't think they're going to leave anytime soon.
Yeah, so he nods agreement with that. He glances over at a couple other tables and stuff, and you see the camera kind of goes with him, and we see another table over in the corner where there's a couple of gnomes, 2 halflings, and a dwarf are playing cards, and then another table. Over another table, there's a bunch of tankards and plates that have been scoured clean with bones and stuff left all over the place. And next to that table, there's a group of dwarves that are throwing darts at the wall. They've actually carved something. It seems like they didn't do it, but there's been a target area that's been carved into the wall that they're practicing at. But our focus goes back to the halflings real quick, and Sildar says, "If we can try and keep the rumor mill down about you being here, and there's." I hate to say it, but just another halfling in town may not draw a lot of attention. Although, the way you plotted over here, if you're as angry as you looked when you came in those doors, that might have pulled an eye or two.
Yeah, we could just say a different. We could say it was that halfling. He'll say, pointing at a different halfling.
The other halfling over the table looks back. He was like.
Oh, hey! Hey! You look like somebody I saw.
Yeah.
So depending on how it looks like the situation might shake out. It might be worth it for us to take a few hours' time to resolve this before we go looking for Gundren.
I'll have to say that your previous entanglements may introduce a bit of a wrinkle. I'm not much of a planner. I just know that I don't go charging in without knowing what kind of enemy I'm facing. And you know him. You say you know this glass stuff, but he's been here for however many weeks or days before you, and we don't know what kind of people he surrounded himself with.
Squeak, I think Squeak's been listening, and as everybody's talking, he sees the wisdom in everyone's sort of suggestions that we might be able to earn some money, and Squeak knows the benefit of having some coin in his pocket and how far that can go, and so I think he says, okay, if we can slip back out of town quietly and go look for Gundren. But tell me, Sildar, do we have any leads?
Yeah, I've only been here a few minutes, and my first question was after my friend. And I, just kind of like as a memory thing, just to kind of remind you guys, as you guys were talking in the caverns back at the hideout, you noticed that, or you might remember that the conversation led to like a quick flashback at one of Crud's stalls that he had set up his food cart, and there was 3 men. One of them was Sildar, at least it looked like him, it probably was. And he had overheard that this group was part of the Lord's Alliance, which is basically a group of folks that like to help out order and peace and justice, that sort of thing. But a lot of their specialties also drift towards small towns as they're coming up in the world. So the idea that he had a friend that was here ahead of him might mean that this isn't just business, that he's there for being friends with Gundren. It may also be that he's there on Lord's Alliance business as well. So just something to kind of put into the catalog there for y'all. So in any case, so back to the present scene. Sildar shakes his head and he says, "I haven't had time to really nose around a bit. It's not really my forte." And he looks at Squeak, and he actually looks at Ursula and the rest of you actually in turn, and he says, "You all may be better at it than I."
I know where I'd look first, so.
You made mention of the altar, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. Might be a good place to start. And then he glances around the table, and he frowns for a bit, and then he kind of perks up a bit and looks over. I think maybe our angle kind of follows over towards where Tristan is standing, as she maybe is she's kind of like making her way towards where the dwarves are as they're throwing darts against the wall. So let's just kind of see what Tristan's doing. So you've been kind of, I don't know, have you been kind of like on the periphery of the table listening in on the conversation, or did you kind of continue your own kind of private investigation to learn more about the town?
I caught bits and pieces.
Okay, cool. That's good. So you're kind of making your way over toward these dwarves. There's 4 of them. They're dressed in casual dwarf wear. Some of them are a little bit dirtier than others. I would think that you see on the table there's like the empty mugs and the empty flagons and plates with big brontosaurus bones on them and stuff. With where they've probably gnawed the meat off of the edges. One of them even has like a one of those cool like little helmet with the candles on the front type thing that's kind of set down on the table. And that one looks a little bit smaller for their heads. And then as you kind of like come around the table, you'll see that there's a gnome that's there who's scrawling in a journal or some kind of like ledger or something, like some kind of notepad or something that he's writing on. And he's dipping into it. And every time one of the dwarves like slams a flagon down on the table, he like frowns at them and like goes back to business as he's writing stuff down.
All I can think of is the new spring line of casual dwarf wear by Old Navy.
Yeah, for sure. Wrinkle free,
Mm-hmm.
for your active dwarf.
Cargo shorts, I'm imagining. Lots
Active
of
dwarven
pockets.
lifestyle.
Yeah, that's right. For your underground pocket needs, it's perfect. Everything that you could possibly need. So how do you make your? Do you want to approach the dwarves, or how do you want to kind of make your way into the scene here, Tristan?
I mean, she's obviously uncomfortable because you're in a bar, and that's just something that she's not like always comfortable with.
Sure.
But she's been around it, so she's just a little bit more defensive than she would normally be. But it's, I guess she'll make her way over to the dwarves because she knows darts like the back of her hand.
Yeah.
But I imagine her being like taking her like hood off and like having her hair like glimmer as she like walks over to the dwarves, so she kind of like catches their eye and then plays like a coy these dwarves are a little tipsy, and I'm going to use my looks to try to get some information out of them, sort of thing.
Nice. Okay, cool. Kind of a different approach here. I like it. So yeah, so you make your way over there, and I think let's do this. Let's see how effective you are. You've got a most impressive persuasion skill that I see here. So I would assume that that's kind of the direction you're going towards. So let's have you roll a persuasion, and then we'll let the scene kind of unfold according to the roll. Okay.
She did set up well, so would she have gotten advantage?
Maybe they just don't have a thing for tall ladies.
Let's have some fun. It's not the end of the world here, and this will give us some opportunity to kind of role play around the situation. And as good as you can do it, we'll see what happens. So that's the fun of the dice. But I like the argument. If there's opportunities you guys think that you would want to have advantage on, and you want to argue your way through it, let's go for it. I'll definitely be open to it. But let's have some fun with this. Let's have some fun. So, all right. So you make your way over to the table, and has your character or have you, Tristan? Have you ever tried to charm a dwarf before, or is this maybe the first time you've made the attempt?
Yeah, not a dwarf.
Okay, perfect. So one of the dwarves is like he's up at the wall, and there's like this little couple of crates that they've set up so they can kind of stomp their way up to where they've nailed the darts and stuff against the wall into this kind of carved target that they have. And he's pulling him out, and he turns around and he misses the first step, and he kind of like has to like kind of jump down and almost fall on his face. But he dusts himself off and is laughing and everything. He's got a dart he accidentally stuck in his thigh, so he pulls it out and he's just laughing and everything. And he looks over and he's kind of squinting. What? Oh, would you looky here? We've got ourselves what a pretty. Aren't you a pretty? And says, hey boys, who's got some? You, Krieg, you've got some coin left. Buy a drink. What would you like? So he's asking you, what would you like there?
Okay, just whatever you're drinking would be fine.
All right, Rotgut, that's good. And he points over and he's like, go get it. And one of the dwarf he pointed to, Krieg, kind of stumbles his way over towards the bar and ends up hitting his head and laughing, and then orders the drink and stuff. So what can we do for you, fine lass, huh?
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh God. Something along the lines of I've been watching you play this game. Would you teach me?
he kind of looks. he like looks at you and then looks at the darts in his hand. You know, one of them's still kind of dripping some of his blood from the end. And he looks up at you and looks back at the darts. You want to throw these, huh?
That's sweet hustle.
Oh, well, sure, we can sure, eh, boys? And like the other dwarves kind of like laugh. Go ahead, Ordic, go ahead and show her how to throw the darts, you fat weasel. And he like goes over and stomps over to another one of the dwarves and punches him in the face, and then he turns around and then they just like continue to laugh. And he says, okay, no problem. So he like places the darts onto the table in what he thinks is order, and they're just kind of scattered everywhere. And he grabs one and he says, so you look down at the he uses his beard to kind of wipe his face, and you look down there where the target is, right? You got the target? Yeah.
The circles on the wall?
Yeah, that's them right there. And so you just throw them, and like he throws the dart, and it ends like outside the circle, like way bad, and it kind of like it hits, and then it kind of wings off, and then just falls to the ground. It didn't even throw it hard enough to get it into the wall. And the other dwarves start laughing, and then he grabs his tankard and he like throws it at them and tells them to shut it. And so not like that. And you grab the dart here and you give it another. And again, he misses. It's like just horrible. It's me, my arthritis. It's acting up. That's what it's got to be. And another one of the dwarves says, "You don't have arthritis. You got the stupids. That's what you got." And so he's like, "Here, you try, lass. Go ahead, give it a go." So he steps back, and you've got two darts that are waiting there to be thrown.
Okay, she'll pick it up with her right hand because she's left-handed.
Left hand,
and
right
then
hand.
go throw
I
it,
like it.
Throw it like just hard enough to like reach the bottom of the like crates that they were stepping up on before it like falls to the ground.
Gotcha.
Like she doesn't short.
So are you trying to do it as like a weapon skill, or are you trying to do a performance? What do you think?
A performance, more like she doesn't know what she's.
Smart.
Okay. Well, give me a performance roll. Let's see how this turns out. And actually, go ahead and take advantage with this one because you're kind of like setting the scene really well. I like it. So so 19 on that. Okay, yeah, for sure. You kind of like throw it like exactly as you said. And so he says, "Oh no, you got to give it a little bit more oomph, right? And you got to put your arm into it, but you don't want to go all crazy, you know. Not like Failure over there. He's a moron of the 100th degree. That's what he is." And Failure like pulls out a hand axe and throws it at the wall, and it like is like dead center. He's all, "Put that in your pipe and smoke it, you great idiot." The other one like Ordic like looks back at him and is just like, "It's sure off. It gets that from me, paw." And he says, "Just try and put never mind the stupid axe that's in there. Just try and put more of a body on it. Yeah, a body from a bunny, lass. You go ahead, try." We can ride this performance roll that you already did, the 19. So where do you want to put it now?
I'll pick it up with my right hand this time, just so it kind of like confuses him.
Your left hand?
No,
She started left hand, and so she went to right hand. Nice.
The other one, so that he kind of just thinks like, "Oh no, she's just kind of like doing whatever."
What are you doing there? Are you a bit confused? And so like he asks the question, and I assume you just throw it anyway.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw it, and I'll miss, but I'll actually get it into the wall.
Nice. Okay. All right. So.
And then I'll like fake giggle, kind of disgustedly, and be like, "Well, I guess it just comes with practice or something."
Can I?
Nice.
Can I roll an insight to make sure I know what game she's trying to play here?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Because I can't really ask her. Because
No, that totally works.
think I could assist Why am I grabbing my physical dice?
I don't know.
Better.
That's the perfectly good dice roller right here. That's decent. It's decent.
There we go.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So yeah, like kind of like I'm kind of using the target of the persuasion, that kind of thing, and the performance that she's kind of doing, kind of mixing that together. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, how much? What are you looking to try and get from this on the inside? It's just that.
I would also point out that in this particular circumstance, I think Ursula would have an advantage on seeing that she's putting on a ruse because of the performance the night before. With daggers, because she's seen her throw.
Yeah, because I know that she can throw.
Right. I mean, she threw like 5 daggers at once, and it like was made a happy face or some crazy stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because what I think that Tristan's trying to do is to try and convince them that she's not good at it, and then try to get them into a round of betting on who can do it the best.
Is that?
Yeah. You know what? I mean, I think the combination of her performance, I think that's what you see. That is kind of what you see. That's kind of where your mind goes. Yeah. I think that's kind of where your mind goes. And you're kind of thinking that maybe she's trying to work an angle or something. And that may not be quite what I think, Tristan, you're kind of looking for more an angle to be able to ask more information, that sort of thing. So it's a little bit different. But I think from Ursula, from your perspective, that's what you're seeing, is that. I think with that insight roll, that's probably what you're picking up on.
Well.
So yeah.
Either way, I guess I can make this a working angle.
Yeah.
So.
Leah's sitting over here nodding. So.
Cool.
Either way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up, I'm going to pull that hand axe out of the wall.
Yeah.
Where the target is, and be like, now we've got a fine bunch here. 3 drunk dwarfs and a pretty lady. So...
Oh, look who's over here talking all big and strong. Well, actually, quite big and quite strong, I can tell. Blast my axe!
Here you are. And she just sticks it in the table. And
right.
he's like
looking at the axe, looking at you, looking at the axe, looking at you. And Oryx kind of like standing over in the side, laughing at him.
I'm not here for darts, though. What I want to see is which one of you 4 is the best shot.
Throwing bananas.
Yeah, like she's like he's looking at the darts, like you said, not throwing darts and stuff. And Oryx kind of looks at you, looks at Tristan, looks at you, looks at the others, looks at his fellow dwarves. The gnome kind of like is paying attention now. The one that's sitting at the table, he's stopped writing and he's like watching. But Oryx says, "Do you want to throw the gnome?"
No, you drunk idiot. The darts. I'm not throwing them.
And I think that the gnome actually says almost the same thing. Like, he says, "No, you drunk idiot!" You kind of like say it at the same time. So is that you want to use the darts, or what do you want to use again?
Yeah, but I'm not competing. But I want these 4 to throw the
Okay. All right. So the 3 dwarves and Tristan to be.
And have a little gamble.
The gnome like picks up his notepad, writes in something, and says, "That's coming out of your pouches. That's coming out of your pouches. Pull it out of your pouches. You're not pulling it out of me." You can't even hardly understand what he's saying. So, bunch of dark-bearded idiots. That's fun. He starts jotting something down and says, and the Oryx is like, never mind. I've got the money for it. Sure. You want to try and give it a go? No problem. And he's reaching into his pouch and stuff, and his hand goes through the pouch, and you see there's a hole in the bottom. God. That one of the other ones pulls some coins out and throws it on the table. So you kind of amass a pool of maybe, I don't know, let's say 5 gold.
I'll match that from my purse.
Okay. Oh, now we're talking. Okay, okay. And how about you, love? Do you have that kind of money? Or I could... no, I can't. Do you have that kind of money?
I don't know what that gold is.
You got silvers, golds, and coppers. I think you still got some gold.
Yeah, you got some coinage.
Yeah, but nobody knows that.
Perfect.
I'll pull out a few coppers and be like, well, this is, what I just made from work. And that's all I have with me.
He looks at the coppers and looks at you and looks at the coppers and looks at you. And then he looks back over at the wall and then he looks back at you and says, "Oh, that's okay, love. That's okay. Don't you worry. Got to find better work. Do you sing or something?" Look, Dandy over there in the corner, and he points over, and there's a half elf that's playing a lyre or a lute right now, just kind of fiddling with the strings and stuff. When he sings, sounds like a bloomin' cat that's got his tail pulled off. So if you can sing better, you might be able to earn better money here. Never mind that. Let's... Fine, you got to bet. And so he slams the table and he grabs up the darts and hands them out. And he hands one to you, Tristan, as well. And so okay, yeah, let's see what happens then. So you
All right.
You want to go first, Tristan, or do you want the others to go first?
I want to go last.
What's the bet?
Yes.
So the bet is for the pool, basically, the pool of coin
whoever's the closest to the center wins the pool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I assume the dwarfs will split it between themselves if they win, and if Tristan wins, she and I split it.
Right. Totally works. All right, let's see here. I will pull...
Now let me check my cleric spells to see if I can assist.
Alright, you do have guidance. I think. Do you have guidance as a spell? Or as a cantrip?
I forget. I don't think it's a cantrip. I forgot where the heck did I write my spells?
Did you put them on the spell tab?
I don't think I did. I did not.
Okay.
Well, we can... I think, guidance is kind of one that you would normally have. Most clerics will have that. That's kind of like their direct connect to their god or goddess.
Yeah.
So I think that's fine. If you want to drag that over into your spell sheet, so if you go to the information tab, you can type in guidance, and you'll see that appear, and then go over to your character sheet, go to your spells, and then open up one of your spells in the cantrip section or the 0 level spell section. You can drag that in. If you have any trouble, let me know. I can do that for you.
It's the fun for
All right. So let's see here.
to be on your side. So.
Is good. That'll work. All right. You got that okay, or do you need any help? Totally happy to help you out.
I'm kind of trying and failing to drag it into my sheet here, so...
Oh, no worries. So what you do is when you go into...
there we go.
Oh, there it is.
I got
Perfecto. So yeah, so if you cast guidance, and what that will mean for you, Tristan, is that when you throw your weapon, when you roll your attack, once you're done, you'll be able to add another d4 to that roll. And Alistair or Falconian, you can show her how to type in the individual dice roll, just /R space and then 1d4. You can roll that in. So, all right, cool, excellent. So yeah, so the rock, or not the Rock Brothers, sorry, Rocks.
Give us one moment, real quick.
Yeah, no worries.
All right.
Sacred flame. All right. So I will. So the dwarves, they grab the darts, each one, and then they take the dart, and the first one goes up. I think it'll probably be Auric. He'll go first. So he tosses. See how he does. Ooh, not too shabby.
Oh boy.
Not too shabby. All right, so he makes a good throw.
He should be good.
He
his
makes a good
brother.
job. Oh god.
Next one up is see, we'll have Krieg go up next. So he'll take the dart. He like takes a swig of ale and slams the flagon down and then throws it. Ooh, my goodness. Okay. All right, not too bad.
Boy.
Not too bad. And the last one to go up, I forgot the third brother's name. I have the note here and I don't remember. The third brother goes up and grabs a dart, and he flings it.
No, I mean, I feel like this is happening quickly.
Oh, yeah, he's not as good. His kind of like falls outside of the, like on the last ring that's there, and then that I think we'll call it there because the last one is over getting drinks and stuff, so I won't worry about him for now. So all right, so it is up to.
All right, so she had something she wanted to do conversationally with the dwarves during this process.
Yeah, no worries. This is just as they're throwing the dice or throwing the darts. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like the first one's going up, and then so it'd be Auric that he went up first, and he tosses his. So what are you doing as you go?
I'm like kind of like standing next to the other two at the table, like leaning over, kind of like, did you hear what happened to Sister? What's her face? I say her name. I just can't remember her name right now.
Oh, no worries. You mean Garel? What, the one, the luck cleric guy over there, huh?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll up so I can.
Yes.
Yeah, no
Yeah, the one at the shrine of the luck. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. She well, she left town. She went by herself, and that's what she gets. She shouldn't have gone out by herself. She should have brought somebody with her. But she came back. She'd been, I don't know, like either shot at with arrows or I don't know, maybe something worse. I haven't had a chance to. I make my own luck. I don't need to go over there. Be frank with you, it's a bit of bad luck to go over there by yourself. And I need my pipe. A dwarf makes his own luck. You don't have to go over there and try and wind yourself up with that. But yeah, I heard that she had gone out of town. I think she was visiting one of the mines, that sort of thing, and she got roasted. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's terrible luck for someone who, works at the Shrine of Luck. But I also think
that's funny.
I also think that that it happened to a couple of other people, maybe. Have you heard of any of, anything else like this occurring?
Well, there's been others. Some we ran into a pair of goblins that were trying to like look around in the caverns. We'd staked a claim at one that was a few miles out, not too far. We staked our claim, and when we got in there were a couple of goblins looking around. We squashed them good, but there's been a rumor of goblins and I think maybe even orcs up east on the Tribor that have been giving some trouble to the people.
Oh, what kind of orcs? Or what tribe? You know?
He looks over at you. Not like you. Full blood orc.
Oh yeah, my mom was full blood orc. I'm half from her tribe.
He's not he's not liking to talk to you. You're immediately getting that.
It's okay. My 8 Soch doesn't notice.
Yeah, that's true. So he looks over at you and he's like, Where are you from?
Oh shoot, I don't remember. I'm not used to this the little minimizing thingy.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm from Leyland, you know. Sort of closer to the coast.
So, so you see.
Yeah.
All right. Look, I don't know any more about it. There's been some rumor about it that the Dorks have been attacking some of the people on the road.
Oh, that's no good.
You're like he looks at like one of your satchels, and he notices I don't know. There's something that's like piquing his interest. What's something that like you carry with you that
I got my trinket.
Like denotes something about you, like either your trinket or maybe a tool of your trade.
Well, my trinket is my mother's signet ring that has a symbol on it that Crud has no idea what it is, but I decided that it's the symbol of the Harpers.
Okay.
Yeah.
He looks at the ring. So is it on your hand? Do you have it on your
I
finger?
have it like wrapped with a bit of twine around the clasp of my belt satchel.
Nice. Okay. He looks at the ring and he wipes at his eyes and stuff, and he's like, "What'd you get that?"
No, that's my mom's. She gave it to me when I left town. Sort of like a memento.
Your mom's a orc.
Yeah. Orc on my mom's side, here on my dad's side. He was a guard. He fell in love, fought on it.
I don't want to hear him. Does she kill somebody for it?
What? No, it's hers. She got it from her social club. She was a blacksmith, and there was sort of like a town council that she went to.
You said a social club for an orc.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, it was mostly human town. She just happened to be an orc. I mean, dwarves have some kind of social thing that they go to. Why can't orcs, right?
All right. Maybe you should go talk to the sister. You know what that ring means, eh?
No. He's got a picture of a like a harp on it. So I figure, it's some musical, I guess. But I
Right.
don't know.
Musical. Go see the Shine of Luck and get me out there, but
Oh wait, he just told us that we didn't need it. Go try like that.
I don't need any kind of luck. It'll be you. Yeah. You'll need
Right.
all the luck you can get.
Dirt doesn't need luck.
Alright. He kind of leans back and he's kind of balancing he's bouncing the dart in his hand. Not very well, actually. He drops it and he has to stumble down and grab it and pick it up. So Farah Tristan, going back over to you. So what's that kind of another question or something that you might have as the next one goes up to throw?
Countering racism with well-meaning obliviousness.
Like the Crud Rough Gut biography.
Yep.
Yeah.
The rough gut monologues.
Yeah.
I think that I'm just gonna pick up on the sensitivity of the situation and be like, all right, who's next?
Nice. Perfect. And so that actually brings him out of it, and he's all right, let's give this a go. And he winds up and throws it, and so that's the second throw. His is actually a little bit better than the one before. Or no, is it a little bit worse? I forgot.
A little worse.
Yeah, a little bit worse. He eyes it for a little bit, and he looks over at Oric and stomps over and punches him in the face. And
Auric. Okay.
the third brother Krieg just like laughs and he's like, "Let me show you goats how it's done." And he goes and he like grabs up his dart and gets ready to throw. Any other questions that you want to toss their way there, Tristan?
Not that I can think of right now.
Okay, all right. So he's like balancing he's trying to balance the dart in his hand. He's like, flipping around in his his sausage fingers, and then he like takes it and he's like, and he's outside the circle. It actually sticks in the wall, but he's outside the circle. It does not do well. And he starts stringing off a litany of dwarven curses and grabs his fourth brother comes back with like tankards of ale, and he goes over and he grabs one of the tankards and pours it over his brother's head. He said, "What did I do?" "Shut it, you idiot!" And then the gnome like looks over his pad and he says, "That's going to be coming that's out of your pouch. That's taken out of your pouch. I'm not paying for that." So
you want to just roll an attack roll?
Yeah. So now it comes down to Tristan to make the roll, and then once you're done with this roll,
it's at this point that Ursula gives her a gentle clap on the shoulder, not a healing clap. And just
the healing clap is a shove.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a defibrillator.
Yeah. Kaboof.
You got to do the Robin Hood thing and throw the dart, and it splits the other dart in half down the middle.
Nice. All right, so you give that a go, and then once you're done, then you're going to roll a 1d4 after that, and Falconian, you can show her how to do that once she's rolled. Ooh, nice.
Ooh, 21.
Roll.
Oh, slick. So now it comes down to the luck of Oghma.
1d4.
The wisdom granted.
Enter.
Oh,
yeah!
Yes!
Oghma pulled through,
Awesome,
man.
yeah. So for sure, I'll give it to you, Farrah. What does it look like when you throw this dart? I mean, obviously it's gonna hit dead center. I'll just say it. But how do you look when you throw it? Is it just like a professional throw, or is it just kind of like you're still kind of in that persona of not kind of quote unquote knowing what you're doing? What do you
Sneeze
think?
right as you throw it.
Okay,
It
so
happens
I'm
to
like
be a
behind
big
the table, and I'll like walk around the table and grab a dart, and I'll be like, "Oh, well, I guess it's my turn," and then kind of like fumble over my feet, and then like as I'm like pretending to fall, I like throw this dart, and I'm like, "Ah!" And then it like hits in the middle, and I'm like, "Well, I guess it's beginner's luck."
Very Disney Channel.
A little bit better than Sister What's Her Face, for sure.
Yeah. And so like all the dwarves are kind of looking. The fourth brother who's got ale like all over his head, he just like kind of like watches, and he takes the one that's still in his right hand and he just kind of hands it to you blindly. And how do you earn that one, lass? And he looks back and he looks at the pile of gold, and then he looks at his other brothers and looks at the pile of gold. So are you like gonna grab I think it's what we're up to, 10 gold, I think. Yeah.
10 gold and some copper.
Yeah.
I think Ursula should grab it.
Yeah, let's. I'll scoop that in. Thank you kindly, gentlemen.
Nice. So do you guys like depart the table, or are there more questions that you had for them?
I guess I'll just ask, like, as we're like walking away, where might we find Sister Ariel this time of night?
So yeah, it's like, you guys, it's probably like the first parts of the evening as you guys are in the tavern, and they said, I think it's Auric, he's still kind of speaking for the rest, and he says, she's only across the way over there. You'll see her lighting her weird blue candles and stuff. You can't miss it. I don't know. You'd think after running into hard trouble like that, she may not depend on that luck anymore, but you never know. Maybe she just needs a little bit more. She's alive. Maybe that's the luck part of it. And so he kind of like plops himself down on a chair, and he's like watching as the gold kind of departs. He looks back over at the dart, and he looks back at the table, and he looks over at Tristan, and then looks down at the table, and just shakes his head.
She wants to know if the dwarves are bald. Bald.
2 of them are. One of the ones that you're talking to is, and the others still have hair. 2 of them are bald. 2 of them still have hair.
Before it gets too late, I'm gonna head out and go take the lion shield crates over to the coster.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we can do that. So
I missed all of this because that was what I was heading out to go do.
Okay. Gotcha. Sounds good. All right. So you can definitely do that. So so as you're kind of like walking away, we see the dwarf kind of like looking down at the table and just kind of, I can't believe I lost all that money.
Yeah, buddy. I mean, you'll get him next time.
Right. And he like looks up and he sees that Crud's still standing there. What are you still doing here?
Trying to be supportive. Okay. I'll walk back over to my other table. Thank you very much.
And I'll split that gold with Tristan, so she's gonna have a 5 GP increase.
Nice.
There you go, Tristan.
Very cool. All right, so let's do this. We'll have a break there for the moment. All
right.
The camera kind of goes over to the dartboard, and we see there's like a kind of like a crack in the wall, like where where that axe is struck a few times, and we actually can like see through the crack, and the camera kind of goes through there, and we come out into the evening of Phandalin. The sounds of, still the smithy is probably still kind of winding its way down, so we hear that in the distance. We hear some people talking, but we kind of start picking up like really off-key tune of somebody trying to like strangle out a song. There's that sound of like a old-timey Western piano kind of playing, or harpsichord or something to that effect, if we want to keep it medieval. But we kind of flow over a few buildings, and then we end up, there's this it's kind of a sign that's like waving in the breeze, and we see a lantern catch the light on it, and we see like a big bed's been carved into it, and there's this like really huge, overweight, cumbersome looking figure that's like laying down on the bed sleeping, and then the camera kind of goes black, and we just kind of hear the music in the background as we fade away. So we'll go to break now. Again, we may have a couple of days here and there in between the session, and then we'll come back for the wrap up on session 3 of Mines and Biscuits.